A to the K.
To the K.
To the K. Coming at you quicker than The Rock about to insert himself into the main event of WrestleMania, it's time for the Rapid Roundup. Kicking off with SmackDown, Roman Reigns begins the show. He asked Paul Heyman to fix things, and it's not being fixed, so that's why he's here to make things right again. He's going to fix everything, he says. Then this leads into an in-ring contract signing, but Roman doesn't come out. Paul Heyman comes out and says Roman will not sign the contract this evening. But Nick Aldis tells Paul that that's absolutely fine because he'll just make it a triple threat match for the vacant WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. Paul Heyman comes back, tail between his legs, and he says he respects the mediocre job that Nick has done while dressed in his Paul Heyman wannabe suits. There's no way he could sell it to the board of directors, to the fans, or to Roman Reigns. Instead, he should be defending the title in a one-on-one match when suddenly LA Knight and AJ Styles start fighting and go out of the arena, leaving Orton and Heyman alone in the ring. Orton tells Paul he's going to drop Solo in the main event and then reintroduce Reigns to the RKO. Awesome way to kick off the show. We also have the LWO taking on Legado del Fantasma. The heels take the win as Santos tags himself in and rolls up Carlito. Also, Pete Dunne is back, baby. He teams up with Tyler Bate to defeat Pretty Deadly. And in the Kevin Owens show, Logan Paul is his guest. He says Kevin Owens is the reason why he's in the WWE to begin with. He shows a clip of WrestleMania 37 where Owens hit him with a stunner. He says Owens embarrassed him that night, and Owens says, you know what, Logan, I'll give you some credit. You've been better than anyone ever thought you'd be, but as good as you are, you're not one of them. Him being the US champion is a joke, and it's gone on for far too long, and he's going to end it at the Rumble. As for his cast, he says he's not going to wear it. He'll take it off right now, and as he does, Logan Paul hits him with a sucker punch. Owens does get back up. They brawl outside, but Logan slams that injured wrist into the turnbuckle, so top heel moves there from Logan Paul. LA Knight and AJ Styles face off, but midway through the match, Jimmy Uso comes down the ramp and Solo Sikoa hits LA Knight with a spike, causing the DQ. Jimmy and Solo beating down AJ and Knight. And then, yeah, that's not ideal for those guys. Caden Carter, Katana Chance successfully defend the titles against Unholy Union. Meanwhile, Damage Control are watching on from commentary. After the match, Asuka and Kairi Sane steal the belts and then give them back before laughing. In the main event, we get Solo Sikoa, Randy Orton. Uso tries to get involved, but LA Knight and AJ Styles team up to stop that from happening. Solo stalks Randy, ready for a spike, but he's hit with an RKO, and Orton gets the win. After the match, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight are all in the ring together, and Orton lays both of them out with an RKO, but a surprise Roman appears, hits Randy with a Superman punch, and signs the contract. Just as he's ready to hit the spear, though, Orton hits Roman with an RKO and stands over him as the show goes off the air. So, action-packed SmackDown for you. Over to Raw, a very somber Seth Rollins kicks off the show. He hobbles down the ring with a knee brace to address his future. He says he's had an MRI, the news is not great. He has a torn MCL and a torn meniscus, and with surgery, it's likely to take 3 to 4 months. When suddenly Gunther interrupts, he wants to tell Seth what he thinks of him. He says he's a workhorse champion, he's brought honor to the championship just like him. But the fact that he won't be at WrestleMania makes him sad. Seth says, whoa, though, you didn't let me finish. Seth will keep his promise, he will defend the title at WrestleMania, and he will walk out the World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther says that's good news because he plans to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to choose Seth, and he will target that knee. He will target his back and everything that's not 100%, and he will beat him to become world champ. After the segment, though, the New Day appear and jump Imperium, and we get some kind of bespoke tag match, impromptu tag match rather, not bespoke, which ends in a double count out. They both fight throughout the arena and both end up going through a table. So a lot of stuff going on there. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some action in the Rumble between those lot. Also, Nia Jax comes out to gloat over beating Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch does come out, though, and so does Bayley, and it all ends in a brawl. So, yeah, again, hyping up the Rumble there. Ivy Nile defeats Valhalla. Dominic defeats The Miz, and Shayna and Zoe Stark defeat Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. The tag team champions get in the ring after the match, but Damage Control appear and beat them down. They are scheduled to face them on SmackDown this week. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk face off. Punk tells a story about Dusty Rhodes asking him to look out for Cody when he was OVW, but now he's conflicted because at the Rumble he's not going to be looking out for him, he's going to be looking for him to punch him in the mouth and throw him out the ring. Cody says they became friends back in the day, and that's why it's bittersweet because in the Rumble there are no friends. And Punk says they've had very different paths. Cody already started on third base with his famous dad. CM Punk, however, had to scratch and claw. In fact, he's more of the American dream than he is. Cody, though, talks about the pipe bomb. He says when Punk left, he didn't pass the torch on the way out. He dropped it on the floor, and he didn't care who picked it up. But Cody was the one that picked it up, and he did everything CM Punk said in his promo, and that makes him more CM Punk than CM Punk. Punk basically says, just as you're about to cross that finish line and finish your story, he's about to take it away from him. And Cody says he's only got one path, it's forwards, and it goes straight through CM Punk. They get in each other's face, and then they both part ways. What can I say? Needed more Drew McIntyre? I kid. It was good, really, really good. I think realistically, these two are likely to be the final two in the Rumble, and great way to, set up the rivalry there ahead of that. In the main event, spoiled really. It was Drew versus Damian Priest, and R-Truth gets involved, trying to give Damian Priest some of the merch money. Like, it was funny in a backstage segment, but kind of ruined the match really for me. R-Truth gets in the ring, the referee's dealing with it. Damian Priest has the match won, but obviously seeing R-Truth with the distraction, he throws R-Truth out the ring, allowing Drew to hit the Claymore for the win. It didn't feel like that much of a go-home show for the Rumble, other than the promos. Seth and Gunther's promo was good, Punk and Cody's was good. The main event kind of let it down a little bit. Over to AEW with Dynamite, the TNT title on the line. Dustin Rhodes challenged Christian Cage. Match itself was fine, two vets doing what they do best, but the outcome, again, relatively obvious, which is one of my biggest complaints with AEW at the moment. As well, the finish felt a little bit butchered, which isn't great, but Christian retains in a shock to absolutely nobody. Orange Cassidy and Trent tag against Penta and Commander. Best friends get the win. After the match, the Undisputed Kingdom come out. Roddy says OC is afraid he doesn't have enough left to keep his international title, and now it belongs to him. OC says, you know what, let's do it right now, but Roddy says no. March 3rd at Revolution, he's going to make Orange Cassidy wake up every day for the next 6 weeks knowing he's just keeping that title warm for him. Backstage, Renee Paquette interviews the Young Bucks. They ask Renee for more respect and to call them by Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. They are EVPs after all, and it's time to take the job more seriously. Renee talks about rumours around them, but Matt cuts her off and says they're not true, and even if they were, think about what they would have to do to preserve and protect their life's work, their family. What would they be willing to lose? They switch over to talking about Sting, though. They say that they used to say, change the world, out with the old, in with the new. Somewhere along the way, though, the culture shifted, toxicity creeped into the locker rooms, and they started to lean on yesterday's self-serving, superficial, cancerous superstars. Who could that be aimed at? But apparently Sting is none of those things, but the image of Sting isn't in line with AEW and what they want to do in this company, so they're going to start saying goodbye to Sting, and everyone likes Sting. So interesting new gimmick switch up, I think, for the Young Bucks. Let's be honest, they've been a bit stale for a while, so I like the fact they're leaning into the whole EVP thing and becoming kind of obnoxious assholes, so let's see where that leads. Bullet Club Gold take on the Embassy for the Ring of Honor 6-man championship. Just as Prince Nana's going to hit Jay White with the title, Anthony Bowens appears and prevents that from happening and allowing the Bullet Club Gold to pick up the win and become the new Ring of Honor 6-man champs. The Acclaimed looking on from ringside, and the 6 of them kind of lock eyes. So are we going to see the Bang Bang Scissor Gang? You may find out in this very episode. Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa herself, gets the win over Anna Jay. After the match, she challenges Toni Storm. Storm calls her an artificially tanned hag and says she should punch her right in the box, apparently. But it's time for commercial, so chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. Just as Mariah May launches some shoes at Purrazzo. So yeah, gotta love Toni, and I think big challenge for Toni against Deonna. In the main event, Hook challenges Samoa Joe for the world title, and Hook puts up a fight early on, but Joe puts Hook through the announce table, hits a muscle buster, and Hook kicks out at 1. The comeback is short-lived though because Hook gets choked out. After the match, Samoa Joe hits him with another muscle buster, but Hook still gets back to his feet. Just as he goes back for the kill, Hangman Page interrupts and makes a save as Swerve Strickland watches on. Look, much better Dynamite than last week. All the matches were good. 6-man titles was a relative surprise, even though not the biggest shock in the world, with those changing hands. But, same complaints. TNT and world titles on the line. Obviously, they were not going to be dropped in this episode, so very predictable. I just want to see more non-title matches in AEW, because I think when they are title matches, the finish is given away 99% of the time. So, yeah, just kind of makes me not care as much. Lastly, on to Collision. Jon Moxley kicking off the show, and as a surprise to no one, defeats Shane Taylor. After the match, though, cuts a promo, says he's pissed off beyond belief. He's hungry. From this moment on, he won't take any crap from anyone in 2024. Anyone who wants to step in the ring with him, cross his path, or even call themselves a teammate, they have to do one thing, and that's keep the hell up. Commentary played in to the fact him saying teammate quite a bit, so I wonder what the rest of Blackpool Combat Club are going to think of that. In the latest Cope Open Invitational, Adam Copeland put out there, it is answered by Dante Martin, and of course, in a surprise to absolutely nobody, Adam Copeland gets the win. After the match, he does praise young talent, saying there's no veterans coming out and accepting these challenges. It's all about the young guys. He said he's going to work harder and harder until he gets the TNT title, and he's going to defend it every week. The next time he's in St. Louis, he will be the TNT champ. Spoiler though, after he said this, the very much veteran Minoru Suzuki has accepted the challenge for the next one, so that'll be interesting. Thunder Rosa returns to single action. She gets a win over Queen Aminata, who, shout out, has been killing it. It's a bit of a workhorse over the last couple of weeks for AEW. The Acclaimed once again asked the Bullet Club Gold to see the benefit of them becoming a supergroup. The crowd chanting Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and the 6 of them joined forces, scissoring in the ring. So big development here. Is it going to last? Is it all part of a ruse? We will see. Toni Storm as well says she will meet, greet, complete, and beat Deonna Purrazzo. So we look set for that match very soon. Daniel Garcia manages to get a win over Buddy Matthews. After the match, though, it is pandemonium. A mass brawl erupts between House of Black and FTR. The referees, the locker room all pile out to come and split them up. And it looks like now we are going to get next week on Collision, 6 of them in a cage match. So that will be a very interesting affair. Also, Roderick Strong defeated Matt Sydal as he edges closer to that match at Revolution with Orange Cassidy. Main event, lackluster, unfortunately. The Blackpool Combat Club's Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli got the win over Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. Pretty bland, unfortunately. I'm not an Eddie Kingston guy. I'm sorry, that will offend a lot of people, but like those little machine gun chops and stuff that he does, just not for me. Good promo, don't get me wrong, but yeah, much to be desired in terms of his in-ring work for me. But yeah, theme again for AEW this week, somewhat predictable across both of the shows. I said about the title matches, but even the likes of Jon Moxley versus Shane Taylor and Adam Copeland versus Dante Martin, who's going to win. So just becomes too predictable, so you kind of don't really care as much, which is a shame. But, on the road to Revolution, let's see what goes down there. And lots of stuff going on the way to the Royal Rumble. So what do you think of the shows this week? Let us know in the comments, and we will catch you on the next one.